So we have the Kill Team unboxing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox it, and then we're going to take a look inside at the contents, and then I'm going to go through the core manual in stages and go through each Kill Team. So we've got the Kill Team poster here. Nice bit of artwork. Then we have the sprues. This is for the AdMech, so the Skitarii Rangers. And then we have some badges and some bases. Gene Stealer Cult in grey. It's nice, so you don't have to paint just straight away. You can just fix them up and go. And you'll be able to tell each army apart. Then we have a nice lot of sprues of scenery. So it looks like quite nice stuff. Look forward to making that up and painting it. So we get all that out. And then we have another poster, exactly the same. So, you know, if you want symmetry, you can use it. We have a ruler. We have some tactical objective cards. Oh, not tactical objective, sorry, tactic cards. So these are ones you can use your command points on. And some more. So I think these are the specific ones. These are for Gene Stealer Cults and AdMech. And these are just the more general ones that you can use in every army. Then we have Kill Team data sheets. Some dice, so D6s and D10s. So I should imagine we're obviously gonna be using D10 for something. Another base, which is for the AdMech sniper, the Transuranic Arquebus, I think it's called, something along those lines. And then we have counters, sort of markers that we can use to keep track of what we're doing in the game. So one side is like that, the other side is like this. Then we have a book on the Gene Stealers. We have a core manual. So this is going to be all the rules. I'm going to go through this core manual. And then we have the board. So I'll open all this up, and then we'll have a look as well at the core manual in a little bit more detail. Okay, now I've got the cellophane of everything. I'll just go through what else is in there. So you got the begin here. This is like the core rules, if you like. Double-sided, so nice, easy reference sheet. Then you've got the AdMech, and you've got in here, you've got some pictures and a bit of fluff. What in sort of introduction is the Kill Team, which I'm gathering you'll have for each of the Kill Team releases. Like we've seen that there's going to be an Orc and Space Wolf box as well, and the same for the Gene Stealers as well. Then you have the instruction manual, it's how to put things together, and then some data sheets in the back. And then what else we had? What I showed you earlier, which was in the cellophane, and you've got the same in the AdMech, and these are double-sided. So that's that. And then you've got the board, which is nice. It's actually double-sided. So I'll show you the other side. It's fairly similar. You've got the old Aquila on there. The Eagle. They are fairly similar, but both look nice. I'm sure will look good once the terrain's all set up. So we're going to go through the core manual now. So we've got the core rule book. So obviously there's the core rules. I'm not going to go through all the core rules because we would be here forever and a day. and I don't want to bore you. Some nice artwork in here. So it goes through all the phases, like the morale phase, and 6 phases in all. And then I just wanted to show you, before we go on to each kill team, each faction, sorry, is just the specialists, a bit about the specialists. So you've got leader specialist, and the thing I found quite interesting is not just the trees, which obviously make these specialists better, hence you're going to pay extra points the further down the tree they go. So there's 4 levels. The first level is 0 points. Second level is +4 points onto the model. Level 3 is +8 points, and level 4 is +12 points. So it's sort of weighing up that thing of, do you want to put all them points in that model? Because it could die. Do you want to share it and have lots of level 2s? I don't know. It depends obviously how you're playing it as well, campaigns and things like that. But in match play, that does, I'm sure that's going to sort of help balance things and that sort of thing. So we have, the thing I found interesting was that each specialist has its own unique tactics. So you can use, there's different ones. So there's one for level 1, there's one for level 2, one for level 3. And I think that is the same all the way through. So you've got leader, combat specialist, comm specialist, demolition specialist, heavy specialist, a medic specialist, a scout specialist, a sniper specialist, a veteran specialist, and a zealot specialist. Now, these are, they're not available for every kill team, so, or faction, should I say. Each faction has an amount they can use, so and they're specific to the model type as well. So we'll run through them just so you know when I'm talking about specialists and stuff like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we'll start with the Adeptus Astartes. So there's a bit of information. Then you have D10 tables, which I haven't looked through, so I can't tell you exactly what they're for, but there's things down here like heroic origin, there's missions, background, the squad quirk. So yeah, it's, you can roll off, and I'm not totally sure, I haven't read up on this because I've obviously only just got it. So there's different things through here. So you've got like name generators. So you've got, for the space wolves, you've got the forename and the surname. So you can roll off on a D10 to name your guys. Like for instance, you've got Gunnar Iron Axe or Ulfric Icefang. So you can roll off on the forename and then roll off on the surname to get a random name, depending on what you're taking. And then you have the faction specific tactics. So obviously in the faction focuses, they sort of gave you a couple of tactics that each army would use. So they're actually, some of them have got like 6 different tactics they can use. Some are specific to other factions. For instance, this Death to the Traitors is a tactic that's against Heretic Astartes, so it's specific to Heretic Astartes. So I'm sure there'll be other ones in that, like for the Death Watch, I'm sure they'll have some tactics that are specific to Xenos. But yeah, and then we go through and it shows you the data sheets. I've looked through some of the data sheets and they seem like they're very, very similar to the 8th edition data sheets. But they do have some slightly different rules. Like for instance, these Tactical Marines have transhuman physiology. So they ignore the penalty to these models' hit rolls from 1 flesh wound it has suffered. So how it works is when you take a wound, if you've got, if you're a 1 wound model, you have to roll off. On a 4, 5 or 6, you die. On a 1, 2 or 3, you take a flesh wound. This then hinders your model, so they get a +1 to hit, or -1. Basically, they hit on, instead of a 3, they'll hit on a 4. So with transhuman physiology, this will ignore that. So there are different rules. They've taken some rules away. on different data sheets. So you'll have to go through. So they're not exactly the same. You'll have to go through, but they are pretty similar. So these are the data sheets, and then you've got the points and the weapon profiles. All the weapons I've looked at so far seem to be exactly the same as 8th edition. I haven't seen any that are any different so far. But yeah, and then you've got your points for your models, your points for your war gear. Some of it's 0. That's one thing. Definitely the points of models and war gear has changed in some factions. But yeah, we'll go on to the next faction. So on to Death Watch. So again, you've got these different tables you can roll off to give your kill teams different quirks, like squad quirk, missions, specialist demeanors, things like that. And with the Death Watch, you have got the special ammo. So you've got Dragonfire Bolt, add 1 to hit rolls for this weapon when targeting a model that is obscured. You've got the Hellfire round, always wounds on a 2. And then you've got Kraken Bolt and then Vengeance round as well. And then you've got the tactics. So 4 tactics. And then you've got the Death Watch Veteran. His data sheet, and then you've got on there, you've got the Death Watch Veteran Gunner, the Black Shield, and the Watch Sergeant. So a few different types there. And then I believe you can take Primaris from the Adeptus Astartes as well. Okay, moving swiftly on to Grey Knights. So again, a little bit of fluff, the tables, and then we have a Grey Knight. So the Grey Knight data sheet is a Grey Knight Gunner, and a Justicar. So we have, we do have a psychic phase, so they are psychers. They can use something called a Psybolt, which is basically smite, and they can deny the witch as well. They have the rights of banishment. They have Demon Hunters. If this model attacks any demons in the fight phase, you can reroll all failed wound rolls for those attacks. And then they have the transhuman physiology, the same as the Adeptus Astartes. Yeah, like, again, most of these, because these are all like Adeptus Astartes, Space Marines, they've got leader, heavy. So on the data sheets, you've got like a max table. So you can have maximum of 2 Grey Knight Gunners, a maximum of 1 Justicar, and then there's no maximum for the amount for Grey Knights. So the Grey Knights are more expensive than the Adeptus Astartes. The Adeptus Astartes model is 13 points, the base Tactical Marine, and the Grey Knight is base is 18 points. So you are paying an extra 5 points, but you do get an extra phase. I think it's pretty strong. They've got 4 tactics they can use, and then obviously all their weapons and stuff that they can take as well. Then we're going to move on to the Astra Militarum. Again, same thing with the tables. And then we have the name generator over here. And then we have Astra Militarum kill teams. So they have the Astra Militarum orders, take aim, bring it down, forwards for the Emperor, get back in the fight, move, and fix bayonets. So we've got 4 tactics for those. And then you have the data sheets. So again, you can have a guardsman, 1 guardsman gunner, and you can have 1 sergeant. And they've got some like special abilities. Voxcast, you can reroll failed nerve tests for Astra Militarum models, while a friendly model with a Voxcaster is on the battlefield and not shaken. So, yep, and then they've got special weapons squad. So you can have special weapons gunner, maximum of 3, and then special weapons guardsman, there is no limit on. Then you've got the Militarum Tempestus Scions. Again, you've got a normal Scion, no limit. The Scion Gunner is maximum of 4. The Tempesta is a maximum of 1. Again, same abilities as the Voxcaster and Voice of Command. And then you've got the weapon profiles and the points. So for a base infantry guardsman, it's 5 points. Same for the gunner and the sergeant. Interesting, they're all the same. It's not, that's not how it's been for some of the others. Usually the sergeants are more expensive. And then you've got the scions, which are 9, the scion gunner 10, and the tempester 10. And then you have the special weapons guardsmen are 5, and so is the special weapons gunners are 5. So you could, you can, in Kill Team, I read the rule is you can have up to 20 models. So you could have 20 guardsmen running around, kitted out quite easily because it's up to 100 points. So it's 100 points in total. So we're going to move on to the next one. So we have the Adeptus Mechanicus. Again, same thing, nice bit of fluff, the tables. The tables add, like, I think it's for the narrative for it all. And then you've got your name table again. You've got 4 tactics, and then you've got the canticles of the Omnissiah as well. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You've got Incantation of the Iron Soul, Litany of the Electromancer, Chant of the Remorseless Fist, Shroud Psalm, Invocation of the Machine Might, and Benediction of the Omnissiah. And then we have the data sheets. So the Skitarii Rangers, Ranger Gunner is a maximum of 3, and then the Ranger Alpha is a maximum of 1. You've got Skitarii Vanguard again, 3 and 1. And then you've got Sicarian Rust Stalker, which you get the Rust Stalker as many as you want, and then the Rust Stalker Princeps are maximum of 1, which is like the Sergeant, which has got slightly higher leadership, an extra attack. They are actually 2 wounds, the Rust Stalkers, I didn't realise that. Same as the Infiltrators. So the Infiltrators are, again, you have 1 for the Princeps and the rest are as many as you like. And they have a 6-up invulnerable save as well, as do all the AdMech data sheets. And then you've got all the weapon profiles. Sicarian Infiltrators are 14, and the Princeps are 15, and then the Rangers are 9, and the Gunner and Alpha are 10, the same for the Skitarii Vanguard. Heretic Astartes. It's the tables again, so same thing at the beginning, all of them, the names. So, I feel like the Heretic Astartes have probably been a little bit neglected in Kill Team so far. I'm hoping they're going to add to them and make them a little bit more interesting, because I think as it sits, they have come out by far one of the worst factions. With the amount of stuff you could have with Heretic Astartes, and all they've given is Chaos Cultists and Chaos Space Marines. I think I don't understand. I have an Emperor's Children army myself, and was looking forward to having like Noise Marines and people being able to use Berserkers and things like that. And then, you know, Possessed, loads of things that they could have used, and they haven't, and I found it strange. Okay, so you've got the 4 tactics. So Veterans of the Long War is in there, Fury of Khorne, Beseech the Gods, and Demon Spirit. So Chaos Cultists, you can have a Chaos Cultist, 2 Chaos Cultist Gunners, a Cultist Champion. So they can take different marks of Chaos. And obviously you can take heavy weapons with the Gunners, and things like that. And then you've got the Chaos Space Marines. Again, they have transhuman physiology because they're Space Marines. Death to the False Emperor. And then they can take a mark. And then they can choose icons. I'll go through the icons. I wasn't particularly thrilled. Like, it's the Icon of Wrath. You can re-roll charge rolls for Khorne models within 6 inches of any friendly models equipped with an Icon of Wrath. Icon of Flame, so at the start of the turn in the Psychic phase, roll a d6 for each model from your kill team equipped with an Icon of Flame. On a 6, inflict 1 mortal wound in the closest enemy unit model of the model being within 12 inches of the model being rolled for. Nurgle, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy models within 6 inches of the model equipped with an icon of despair. Slanesh is deaf to the false emperor ability of models within 6 inches of it. Any model with this icon, they get deaf to the false emperor on a 5 instead of a 6, or a 5+ instead of a 6. And then Icon of Vengeance, which is for any of them, add 1 to leadership characteristic for models within 6 inches of a friendly model with an Icon of Vengeance. So they're all right, but they do cost points. So the Icon of Wrath is 5 points, the Icon of Flame is 1 point, the Icon of Despair is 3 points, the Icon of Excess is 5 points, and the Icon of Vengeance is 1 point. I'm not totally sure that's, I mean, they've obviously balanced it, so. With the Heretic Astartes, I just don't know why there's not more options. I mean, they've got some weapons and stuff like they can take. There's, you know, there's a fair few ranged weapons they can take. Obviously, the Sonic Blaster is not in there. And then they've got some melee weapons, such as the Brutal Assault weapon, Chainsword, Power Fist, Power Sword. And the Chaos Cultist is 5, the Chaos Gunner is 5, Chaos Cultist is 4, Chaos Cultist Gunner is 5, and the Cultist Champion is 5. And then a Chaos Space Marine is 12, a Chaos Gunner is 13, and a Aspiring Champion is 13. So you can take 2 Gunners and 1 Aspiring Champion and as many Chaos Space Marines as you can fit in the points. There's a lot of war gear options for them, so that way you can sort of, you know, that way you have options. I was just surprised about the lack of option with Heretic Astartes. Okay, so we have the Death Guard. Again, tables, name tables. So you've got 5 tactics you can use with the Death Guard. I saw Cloud of Flies, and I believe it was Grandfather's Blessing, maybe, that was in the faction focus. So they have Nurgle's Gift, Nurgling Infestation, Veterans of the Long War, and Putrid Splatter. So they have Plague Marine and Poxwalker. So the Poxwalker is just a Poxwalker. I think it's very similar to how they are. Weapon skill 5+, ballistic steel 6+. 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 4 with a 7+ save. And then you've got Plague Marine Gunner, a Plague Marine Fighter. So you can have 2 Plague Marine Gunners and 2 Plague Marine Fighters and 1 Plague Champion. And there's many Plague Marines as you want, as you can fit in with the points. So they do have Disgustingly Resilient, the Plague Marines, as well as the Poxwalkers. So each time a model with this ability loses a wound, roll a d6 on a 5+, that model does not lose the wound. Which would be nice. It'd be obviously one of their rules. It would be hard to take. And they have the Transhuman Physiology, Death to the False Emperor, and the Icon of Despair that they can take. Or do they have that as an ability? Interesting. Oh no, the Icon of Despair is 3 points. The Plague Marines are 14 points, the Plague Marine Gunners 15, the Fighters 15, and the Plague Champions 15, and the Poxwalker is only 3 points. So it's less than a Cultist. Rightly so, I would say, although they are a lot more resilient. So we're going to move on to the Thousand Suns, the Psychers. Okay, so again, the tables. They have 6 tactics to choose from, so quite a few tactics there. And then we have Rubric Marines. So you've got Rubric Marines, you can take 1 Rubric Marine Gunner and 1 Aspiring Sorcerer. So they do get Psych, for anyone that was wondering. And then they can take Zangors. You can take a Zangor or a Twistbray. So they have Aura of Dark Glory. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save for the Zangors. And Brayhorn, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for Zangors within 6 inches of any models equipped with a Brayhorn. And how much is a Brayhorn, you ask? It's 3 points. And the Icon of Flame is 1 point, as we found out in the Heretic Society. So, favoured of Zinch, so the abilities, so they have a 5-up invuln as well, the Rubric Marines. They have the transhuman physiology, aspiring source only. Okay, so it's only this aspiring source that gets that. They get the Icon of Flame if they want. All is dust, add 1 to saving throws for Rubric Marines or Rubric Marine Gunner if the attack has a damage characteristic of 1. In addition, the -1 modifier to hit rolls for moving and shooting heavy weapons does not apply to Rubric Marine Gunners. Sound like they're going to be pretty good. And they get Death to the False Emperor. So Rubric Marine is actually 16 points. The Gunner is 16 points. And the Aspiring Sorcerer is 17 points. A Zangor is 7. And a Twist Spray is 8. So, interesting. Okay. Asuyani. The Eldar, the Craft World. So again, table. More tables with names and whatnot. They have 6 tactics they can choose from. You've then got the Guardian Defender and a Heavy Weapons platform. You're only allowed to take 1. You have Storm Guardian Gunners, maximum of 2, and Storm Guardians. They have Ancient Doom, so the whole Slanesh model thing. Battle Focus, so this model moves or advances in its movement phase. Weapons, excluding heavy weapons, are used as if the model has remained stationary. And then they have Crude Weapons. Heavy weapon can only move, advance, react, shoot, or fight with a friendly Guardian Defender that is not shaken is within 3 inches of it. And then we have Rangers. So they have the same Battle Focus and Ancient Doom and Camel Iron Cloak. When an enemy player makes a hit roll for a shooting attack that targets this model, and this model is obscured, that hit roll suffers an additional -1 modifier. Wow, they're going to be hard to hit. And then you have the Dire Avengers. So you can have a Dire Avenger or Dire Avenger Exarch, which you can only have 1 of. And they have Ancient Doom Defense Tactics. When this model fires Overwatch, they successfully hit on a roll of 4 or 5. Battle Fortune. A Dire Avenger Exarch has a 4-up invulnerable save. It's pretty good. And then Shimmer Shield. Dire Avenger models within 2 inches of a friendly model with a Shimmer Shield have a 5+ invulnerable save. If this model moves or advances in the movement phase, Battle Focus is the same thing. So, Dire Avengers are 10 points. The Exarch is 11. Guardian Defender is 7. Heavy weapon platform is 8. Rangers are 11. Storm Guardian 6 and Storm Guardian Gunner 7. I suppose they've had to up the Rangers because they're so hard to hit. Okay, so we have the Drukhari. Again, tables, name tables. We've got 4 tactics. You've got the Power from Pain table, which is very similar to 8th edition. You can re-roll failed nerve tests for this model in round 4 instead of automatically passing. I think that's the only real difference. And you've got the combat drugs, which I believe is the same, but you don't get to choose. All of the things that have combat drugs have the same, and you just roll off. So it says you have to roll. It doesn't say you get to choose, so I'm assuming you have to roll to see what your witches are going to get, because the Cabalites don't get power from they get power from pain. They don't get the combat drugs. So you can have a Cabalite warrior, a Cabalite. You can have 2 Cabalite gunners, as many warriors as you want, and a Sybarite. Again, there's quite a lot of options for the gunners. They can take shredders or blasters, a splinter rifle. The normal ones can take dark lances. No, sorry. So you can take splinter rifle, splinter cannon, or dark lance. Splinter rifle, shredder, or blaster. You can take a few different options with Sybarites, power swords and agonizers, and all those wonderful things. And then with the witches, you've got a witch fighter, and a Hecatrix. You can have up to 3 witch fighters, as many witches as you want, and a Hecatrix, or as many witches you can fit in. They have the 4-up invuln in the fight phase, but they don't have the 6-up invuln normally. They just have a 6-up save, which I was quite surprised at. But there you go. Maybe they missed it out, but I doubt it. I've obviously done it for a reason, balancing and whatever. They do still have the no escape rule, so you still have to roll off if you want to try and fall back. So the points, the Cabalites are 7, the Gunners are 8, and the Sybarites are 8. The Witches are 8, the Witch Fighters and the Hecatrix are 9. So a Shredder's only 1 point. Blasters are 3, Blast Pistols 2, Dark Lancers are 4. And then you've got like all of the range weapons are, melee weapons are 2 points, apart from the Hecatari Blade. Yeah, and I think all of the profiles are the same as in 8th edition. Moving on to the Harlequins. Again, you've got the names, tables, and narrative stuff, and then you've got 6 tactics. You've got 1 data sheet, which is for the player. Again, he gets the 4-up invuln like in 8th, and he has a flip belt, so he can move across terrain. And all the things a flip belt can do, I assume. And then Rising Crescendo, you may roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 for this model when making a charge roll. And you may choose an enemy model within 18 inches of this model as the target of a charge rather than 12 inches. So they've got some speed, definitely. And then the player is 12 points. Fusion Pistol is 3. A Neuro Disruptor is 2. The Shuriken Pistol and Plasma Grain is 0. Then the Harlequin's Blade is 0. The Caress is 3. Embrace is 2. And the Kiss is 4. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be pretty horrible to play against in such a small arena. Okay, Necrons, one of my other armies, and this is probably what I'll be playing mainly with Kill Team, just because I was so upset with Heretic Astartes. So I can't use my Emperor's Children, and I have Custodians and Knights, and they're not in Kill Team, so I'm hoping they're going to do a Sisters of Silence, because I do have some Sisters of Silence. I hope they're going to do a Sisters of Silence Kill Team, because I think that would be pretty cool, especially when you go up against Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. So you've got the same normal stuff. Name table. I like how it's bequeathed name and then magnificent title. That's pretty cool. And then you've got 5 of the tactics. So I think the ones that were on the faction focus were the Mind Shackle Scarabs and the Overcharge Disintegration. You've also got Disruption Fields. When you choose a model in your kill team to fight the fight phase, increase the strength characteristic of that model by 1 until the end of the phase. Pretty cool. Flensing Fury. So use this tactic when choose a Fade 1 in your kill team to fight in the fight phase until the end of the phase. Each time you make a wound roll of 6, that model's flare claws, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that weapon for that attack. That's pretty cool. And then you've got choose a model in your kill team to shoot in the shooting phase, add 1 to the hit rolls, which is called targeting routines. So that's against targets which are obscured, so you can take that -1 away. Use this Prime Reanimation Protocol. Use this tactic when an injury roll is made for a model. From your kill team, roll an additional dice to apply the lowest result. That's quite cool. So we have 4 data sheets. You've got the Necron Warrior, just standard. He has reanimation protocol. So when an injury roll is made for this model, an unmodified roll of a 6, the model is not taken out of action and does not suffer a flesh wound. Instead, it is restored to 1 wound, remaining with no flesh wounds. Same with Immortals. The only difference with the Immortals is they can take the Blaster or the Tesla Carbine. And what I mean by, and obviously they've got a 3-up save rather than the 4-up save. All still 5-inch movement. The flayed one, again, reanimation protocols. It's exactly the same as the 8th edition datasheet, 4-up save. And then you've got the Death Mark, again, has reanimation protocols, and it's armed with a synaptic disintegrator, which does the mortal wounds on a roll of a 6. I don't know why this is on a roll. I can understand, because if it was on a roll of a 4 and a 5 and a 6, like it is in 8th, then it would only be we could only die on a 4. But Death Guard do get disgusting resilience still on a 5 and a 6. So not sure if that's completely fair, but we'll see. And then the points, the death marks are 15 points. So with the Necrons, you're not paying anything for war gear. It's all completely free, standard. So death marks are 15, flayed ones are 10, immortals are 16, and Necron warriors are 12. So interesting. Warriors have stayed the same. Flayed ones have dropped a lot in points from the 8th edition codex. Immortals have gone up. Yeah, interesting. All the weapons are the same from what I've seen. So yeah, you still re-roll the wound rolls, failed wound rolls for the flayed flower claws. So interesting. See what we've got next. So onto the orcs. Again, same thing. Tables, name tables. 6 tactics. So you got Daka, which was in the other one. In the faction focus, which you can immediately shoot again with one model. And you've got Crumpum, which is use this tactic when you choose a model in your kill team to fight in the fight phase, increase the strength capacity by 1. Grot Shield, to do with use tactic that starts shooting phase, pick a model from your kill team that is within 2 inches of a Gretchen model until the end of the phase. While the Gretchen model is on the battlefield, any attacks which target that chosen model are resolved against the Gretchen model instead. That's pretty cool. It's like having Gretchen as bodyguards. Nasher Squig, use the tactic to start the fight phase, pick an enemy model that is within 1 inch of your models and roll a d6 and a 4+. The model suffers 1 more wound. That's pretty cool. Just a flesh wound. Use this tactic when a model from your kill team is taken out of action. Roll a d6 on a 4+. That model suffers a flesh wound instead. That's pretty cool. It's another way of keeping orcs in the game. And then you've got Mech's special stick bomb. Sorry, I think it should be a stink bomb. Use the tactic when you choose a model from your kill team to attack with a stick bomb. Until the end of the phase, change the weapon's type to grenade D3 and add 1 to its strength and damage characteristics. Cool. So, loads of data sheets. So we've got orcs. You've got Orc Boy Gunner, which is maximum of 2, and a Boss Knob. Abilities, here we go. Here we go, which is reroll failed charge rolls. Loads of different options on weapons for the gunners and Boss Knob. Gretchen just has a Grot Blaster. And it shows obviously each what specialists can do what. The Gretchen can actually be a leader or a scout. Then you have Commandos. They have Here We Go, and they have Sneaky Gits. When an enemy player makes a hit roll for a shooting attack that targets its model, this model is obscured. That hit roll suffers an additional -1 modifier. So instead of being -1, it will be -2. That's pretty cool. And then we have the Burner Boys. So you can have a command as many commanders as you want, but you can only have 1 commander Boss Knob. Then you have Burner Boys and a Burner Spanner. You can have 3 Burner Spanners and as many Burner Boys as you can fit in. So a Burner Spanner may replace their shooter with a custom Mega Blaster or Rocket Launcher. They have Here We Go as well. Yeah, and then the normal models is armed with the burner and stick bombs. And then looters. So you've got a looter and a looter spanner. So you can have up to 3 looter spanners. Looter spanner may replace their big shooter with a custom Mega Blaster or Rocket Launcher. the normal ones comes with death gun and stick bombs, and they have here we go too. And then how much are they? So a burner boy is 12 points, a burner spanner is 10 points, Gretchen is 3, Commando is 8, Commando boss knob is 12, a looter is 12, a looter spanner is 10, an orc boy is 6, an orc boy gunner is 7, and a boss knob is 10. And then we have all of their different points. So actually, not many of their weapons cost points. The combi weapon with rocket launcher is 3, combi weapon with Scorcher is 4, rocket launcher is 3, and then big chopper is 2, and power claw is 4. So, you know, their points are pretty much probably what they're going to cost most of the time. So you're going to be able to get quite a few in, which will be cool. Okay, the towel. Again, we have the tables. We have casts, ranks, and sets. So we have a marker light table. So number 1, reroll hit rolls of 1 attacks that targets model. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks that target this model if it is obscured is number 2. Number 3 is models attacking this model do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons or advancing and firing assault weapons. And 4 or more is add 1 to hit rolls for attacks that target this model. So you have 4 of the tactics: uplinked marker light, recon sweep, breach and clear, and stimulant injector. So stimulant injector uses this tactic when a model from your kill team other than a drone loses a wound. Roll a d6 and for that wound, and each other wound lost by that model for the rest of the phase, and a 5+. That wound is not lost, so basically a 5 up, feel no pain. Breach and clear uses this tactic in the shooting phase when a fire warrior breacher from your kill team targets enemy model and is obscured. Reroll failed wound rolls for that made for that fire warrior breacher against the enemy model until the end of this phase. Uplink marker light, use this when an enemy model has been hit by marker light, and then you place D3 +1 marker light counters next to that model instead of only 1, which is I think it's the same as the one in the 8th edition. And then use this tactic in shooting phase, recon sweep, use this tactic in shooting phase, pick a pathfinder from your kill team to shoot. Instead of shooting that model, it can immediately make a normal move visit with a movement phase, but instead of moving up to their move characteristics, they move up to 2d6. Makes them a little bit nippy. And then we have 4 so far data sheets. So you've got Shazwi, tactical support turret. So you can have 1 Shazwi and 1 tactical support turret. They have for the greater good DS8 tactical support turret. So information on that. And the bonding knife ritual, you can subtract 1 from nerve tests for Shazlas and Shazwi from kill team within 3 inches of models that aren't shaken. So you've got Pathfinder, Pathfinder Gunner, which you can take 3 of, and a Pathfinder Shazwi for the greater good, and the bonding knife ritual. Fire warrior breaches, which I should imagine are fairly similar to the fire warriors with slightly different weapons. Yep, and they have greater good, bone knife ritual, and the tactical support turret as well. And then we have the stealth suits, which have target lock. So a model with a target lock does not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for advancing and firing assault weapons. Camouflage field, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls attacks that target this model. They're going to be very, very good. And then they have the bonding knife ritual and for the greater good. I was surprised that these were in Kill Team actually, because they haven't included stuff like Lich Guard for the Necrons, which I found strange. Because I would say these are a lot more durable with the -1 and other things than Lich Guard are. But, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's a reason I'm missing. And I just thought they were very good considering there was a lot of things that weren't included that could have been included. And I thought stealth battle suits are a pretty good one. And they included them, so I was surprised. And then you have the drones, and I think you can have 7 different types of drone. I'm I'm not going to go through them all, but you can only have 1 Guardian drone, 1 Inhibitor drone, Grav Inhibitor drone, 1 Pulse Accelerator drone, and 1 Recon drone. You can have as many gun drones, shield drones, and marker drones as you can fit in for your points. Abilities, they've got a lot, so depending on what you take. They've got a shield generator model with shield generator as a 4-up invulnerable save. Guardian fields, a Guardian drone has a 5-up invulnerable save. Friendly tower and power models with 6 inches of this model have a 6-up invulnerable save. Yeah, for the greater good as well, and they have support subroutines. Drones cannot be specialists, are not part of a fire team, and cannot gain experience, so they cannot use any of the specialist stuff. And then all the drones are 7 points. The Shazla and Shazwi are 8. Tactical support turret is 0. Shazla and Shazwi breacher is 8. Tactical turret, nothing. Pathfinders are 6. The gunners and the Pathfinder Shazwi is 7. And then Stealth Shazwi and the Stealth Shazri are 20 points. So there you go. That's why they're expensive, because they've got 2 wounds and -1 to hit all the time. So they're going to be expensive, aren't they? Oh, target lock costs 1 point as well. Interesting. Most of the weapons don't cost anything. A missile pod 7, iron rifle 3, fusion blaster 4, rail rifle 5, smart missile system 5. Interesting. Okay, we have the Tyranids. Again, bit of information, the tables. It's funny. I wonder what Tyranids, all their first title and second title. The Omega Infestation. Okay, so 6 tactics. Nice lot of tactics to choose from. I think Tyranids have come out pretty well in Kill Team. So we have the Tyranid data sheets. We have the Termagants, the Hormagaunts, Lictor, the Tyranid Warrior, and the Gene Seeders. So the Hormagaunt and Termagant are very, very similar. They have the same abilities, apart from the Hormagaunt has the bounding leap. Whenever this model piles in or consolidates, it can move up to 6 inches, which is pretty cool. They both have instinctive behaviour. So they get -1 to shooting. It's if they target something that they're not within 24 inches of a synapse model. And if they target the nearest visible any model, then subtract 2 from charge rolls made for if it declares a charge against a model other than the nearest enemy model. I mean, I don't think this would be a massive problem in Kill Team, because I should imagine you'll probably be shooting the nearest model most of the time anyway. I mean, it could crop up, and 24 inches is most of the board, really. Then it's adrenal glands. So if a model has adrenal glands, add 1 to the distance it can move when it advances or charges, and toxin sacs. Any wound roll of 6 is 1 additional damage, which is good. So I was looking for synapse. Tyranid Warriors are the only things with synapse. So if you don't take the Tyranid Warriors, they're not gonna. So with synapse, models automatically pass nerve tests while within 12 inches of any models with this ability. So I mean, that's pretty big as well. 12 inches for a Kill Team map, but there you go. So they also have Shadow in the Warp, so you subtract 1 from enemy psychic tests when they're within 18 inches of the Tyranid Warrior. Shadow in the Warp, and then have adrenal glands and toxin sacs as well. The Lictor has chameleonic skin, and any player makes a hit roll for a shooting attack against this model, and this model is obscured, that hit roll suffers an additional -1, so you're looking at -2 if a Lictor is obscured to hit it, which is very good. And then you have the trusty Gene Stealer. It has lightning fast reflexes, so it has a 5-up invulnerable save. It also has something called extended carapace. So a model with extended carapace has a save calculation of 4+, but loses the swift and deadly ability. The swift and deadly ability being you can re-roll failed charge rolls for this model. And then they have the toxin sacs as well. So points wise, you have Genestealer is 11 points, a Hormigaunt is 4, a Lictor is 25 points, a Termagant is 4, and a Tyranid Warrior is 20. Tyranid Warriors being 3 wound models. And I think they're the only 3 wound model I've seen in the game. Oh, and Lictors are 4 wound models, sorry. So, I didn't think anything that was going to be over 2 wounds, but Lictors are 4 wound models and Tyranid Warriors are 3 wound models. I find it quite strange. I know that they're probably a little bit easier to kill in terms of have a 5-up save, but then, and I mean, the Tyranid Warriors had a 4-up save, so I don't know. It seems pretty good to me. I think Tyranids have come out very, very well. It's strange that they've added a 4-wound model and a 3-wound model in for the Tyranids. I mean, I know that Tyranid Warriors 20 and Lictor's 25, but that still seems pretty good. And then it's just strange that they've done this for Tyranids, but they've, you know, with these high wound models, but they haven't done it for any other faction. And then just balanced it with points. I'm not really sure, like with Heretic Astartes, I just think they've really... maybe they're going to bring out kill teams later, more specific ones for Heretic Astartes to give more options. But we'll see. And then lastly, to round off, we have the Genestealer Cult, which is one of the other ones that come in the box, as well as the AdMech. So you have the normal tables. You have 6 different abilities, tactics with the Genestealer Cults, which are in the box as well. And then you have 4 data sheets. So you've got the Acolyte Hybrid, Acolyte Fighter, and Acolyte Leader. You can have 4 fighters and 1 leader. Abilities that have Cult Ambush after deploying, but before the first battle round, roll a d6. This model on a 5+, this model can immediately move up to 6 inches. It's pretty cool. And then at the Cult icon, you can reroll 1 to this model within 6 inches of a friendly model with a Cult icon in the fight phase. The Aberrants are a 2-wound model, and they have Cult Ambush as well, and they have Bestial Vigor. When inflicting damage on this model, reduce the damage of the attacks by 1 to a minimum of 1. That's pretty cool little ability. And then the Neophyte Hybrids. Neophyte Hybrid, you can have as many as your points. And then the Gunners, you can have 4, and then the Leaders, you can have 1. All with quite, as well as the Acolyte Hybrids, they've all got quite a lot of ability for war gear changes. And then they've got the Cult Ambush and the Cult Icon as well. And then you've got the Hybrid Metamorph, 1-wound model. And these have the Cult Ambush and the Cult Icon as well. And points-wise, we have Aberrants of 15 points. The Acolyte Hybrid is 7. The Acolyte Fighter and Leader are 8. The Hybrid Metamorph is 8. The Metamorph Leader is 9. Neophyte Hybrid is 5. And the Neophyte Gunner and Leader are 6. Yeah, there's quite a lot of war gear options for them. And that is where we come to the end. At the back of the book, you have some kill team campaigns and some bits, mission critical, consequences of battle. So some more rules and stuff to do with campaigns and whatnot. And then you have the command roster, so some blank sheets that you can fill in yourself, and a reference as well. So all in all, you've got everything you need in here at the moment, until they bring out any new factions. But you've got everything you need in this core rulebook, or core manual as it's called, to play Kill Team with any of the factions that are currently out. So yeah, thanks for listening to me, and I hope you found it informative and useful. I'll put some timestamps and stuff in. But if you enjoyed this, we're going to try and get some more stuff out. We'll be doing loads more Kill Team. We'll be doing loads of Kill Team battle reports and campaigns and different things. So like and subscribe. And also there'll be a description from our sponsors, Mad Gaming Training, where you can get that from, which do great Kill Team terrain. And also there'll be a link in there for 40k Gaming, where you can actually get the Kill Team the Mad Gaming train from. And you can also buy Kill Team from there as well at a discounted price. So yeah, see you in the next one.